Hello everyone. In this video we are going to show you how to install Visual Studio Code for Linux, and we're going to also install a compiler and show you how to get Visual Studio Code to talk to that compiler so that you can successfully compile code for either C or C++. In addition to that, you will be able to build your program and run it. So these are the steps that we're going to cover. I'm using Linux Mint, which is derived from Ubuntu, so I quite simply can click on the .deb package. If you're using a Red Hat distribution or Fedora or something that uses RPM, you would click here instead. Once you click here, it says, thanks for downloading Visual Studio Code for Linux, and it will start downloading it for you. When this is done downloading, you can just click on it. It will pop up a window that says install, and you can click install. This is the easiest way to do it. However, it is not the way that I prefer. So I'm going to just cancel this. The way I prefer is if you go under the docs page, click on setup, go under Linux, and then after that you can see that you can install it as a snap, which means it'll automatically stay up to date for you when you update all of your snaps. Or I still like to use apt, so coming under the Debian or Ubuntu based distributions, I can copy and paste this into my terminal window. Now I've already done this, so we're probably not really going to see anything too terribly interesting, but we will paste it in here. Hit enter. Yep, everything's already installed, which is great. Now, all we have to do is copy and paste this. And it will automatically install these things for me. So you see that I already had that installed. After that, it did an update of all the packages. And you will notice in here that I have packages from Microsoft right here. That is what that first step did. Next, it will automatically pull down code onto my machine, which is the package name for Visual Studio Code. All right, so we're going to just cut out and let it finish. All right, yeah, it's taken a while. It installed everything now. So now Visual Studio Code is on my machine. Next, we're going to need a compiler. If you don't already have one installed, since you're already in the terminal, a way to install it is type in sudo apt install build -es, and then if you hit tab, it'll automatically fill in the rest for you. We want build essential. And just for good measure, we're going to say install G++. We'll do GCC for those compiling C, and GDB for debugging. Yes, I would like to continue. And now it is going to install all of those compilers onto my machine as well. All right, good deal. Okay, now that we got that all set up, let's actually start up Visual Studio Code and start installing some extensions that'll make our lives easier. So we'll come under Programming, Visual Studio Code, and it will start up. All right, so let's install some extensions first. We're going to be dealing with C and C++, so we'll install this Microsoft extension. Click the Install button. And that really actually is all that we need to get started. So it will automatically download that, install it onto your machine, and then after that, we will be ready to actually start developing something. So we're going to just create a simple hello world program. I'm going to close this notification from Microsoft. All right. Now, if there's ever a time that you need to see any notifications that you've missed, you can click on this little bell. Now, the first step to actually start working with Visual Studio Code is we need to create a folder somewhere. I highly suggest you don't use spaces in the name of that folder because it'll probably just give you a headache later on. Especially if you start working with the CMake tools, they tend not to like spaces. I'm just going to create a folder on my desktop. Call it Hello World. Alright, so we've created our Hello World folder. Next, we're going to open that. So if you enter File, Open Folder, that's on our desktop, we'll grab Hello World. You can see that now we are in the folder. It says Hello World. So what we're going to do is we're going to add just a main.cpp file. So if you click on the little plus file here, I'll call it main.cpp. And I will write our basic Hello World program here. Hello World. And line. And Control S to save it. Alright, so this file is now saved. Before I saved it, you notice there's a little white dot here. Now there's an X. That is how you know whether or not the file has been saved. Alright, so let's actually try to debug it. So if we click on the little play sign here with the bug next to it, it says Run. And it says we can't do anything. We need to create a launch.json file. So let's do that. We're using C++, so we will click there. We're going to use G++ because we just installed that, and that's the compiler we're going to use. Alright, so it automatically wrote this file for us. Let's go back and now actually click the green play button next to Run. Alright. It says that it cannot find the G++ build active file. We can either open this file that we're currently in, the launch.json. We can click configure task or cancel. Cancel won't do anything, so we'll do configure task. Now it says create task.json from a template. Yes, we want to do that. Now we're not on Microsoft's Windows operating system, so we're not going to use that. We're not using Maven or any of this. We're going to do others. And it gives us something that basically looks like almost nothing. Well, the first step is we need to change the label so that it matches what the launch.json is looking for. So let's go on here and look for the there it is, pre-launch task. So we're just going to copy this, come into here, and we're going to paste it. Alright, next for our command, we're going to put in /user/bin/g++. Next, comma, come down here and do args. Alright, so we're going to start adding arguments. The first argument we're going to add is -g. What this does is it will build it with debug symbols. If you try to debug without the -g, it's going to blow up on you. It's not going to work. You're going to be frustrated. Make sure you include that. Alright. Next, we're going to include the file that we want to compile, main.cpp. And after that, We're going to put in a -o to name our output file. We will name our output file main. All right, very good. Now the last thing we're going to do is come in here, put a comma after the square bracket, and we're going to be looking for options. And the option we want to put in here is current working directory, which is CWD. And what we're going to do is do $, curly brace, workspace root, and you can see there is this circle here. We are going to save this. So what this means is it's going to start in our workspace root, which is our Hello World folder for this project. It's going to run this command, and the reason we don't need to put in full file paths, so we can do relative ones, is because of what we wrote right here. All right, so let's try this. We'll click the play button again. Aha! So its auto configurator didn't quite get us everything we needed. So we're going to open up the launch.json, and it says the program that it wants to run is this file name directory. We're going to change this to workspace root. You could also use workspace folder. It's basically the same thing. And we're going to call it main. Why do we call it that? Well, our main comes from here. This is what our output file is. Our current work directory is the workspace root. And this requires the full thing for sake of convenience. Down the road, you might want to put it inside a build folder, which is why I say that, where you might want to come in here and say, I actually want to put it in build / and then you can come in here and type build / as well. However, with a project this small, I'm not too worried about my folder getting dirty. So we will save this one and save this one. And we will click the play button again. All right, so it says everything executed normally with an error code of 0. So let's actually step through our program, because what's the point of debugging if you can't step through? So I'll just drop in a breakpoint here on line 5. Click Run again. All right, so we hit our breakpoint. Click Next. You can see it says Hello World, and we will just hit the play button to finish everything off. And I would say that that was a pretty successful setup. We are able to build our project. We are able to launch our project and actually put in breakpoints and step through our breakpoints. So this is how you set up Visual Studio Code on Linux, and using the G++ compiler, how to get it set up so you can build and debug. Hey, you made it to the end of another video. Great! Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see here, and click that bell so you stay up to date. And also, if you liked this video, please remember to click the like button. I really appreciate it, and it helps other people be able to find this information. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video.